Welcome to episode one of what I'm calling for now the rough cut. Whether I keep that or not, we'll see. This is something I've been wanting to do for a long, long time. I think I've always been waiting for the right moment, and I'm realizing now the right moment isn't really a moment that ever comes. So the right moment for right now is this moment. My name is Matt Ruff. I want to make a channel like the old YouTube. I feel like now it's all just giant teams, giant productions, big budgets. And I miss the days when it was just someone in a camera talking or doing something that they really enjoy doing. And I'm not trying to do this to become famous or quit my day job. Maybe one day, but for right now, it's just something I genuinely enjoy doing. And that's talking about sports, music, movies, things that are going on. I feel like I have a weird knowledge for things that I might as well try and share and see if people enjoy. And if not, then it's kind of for me just to yap anyway. So here we are. Um, I love sports. I follow a lot of sports. I follow hockey, football, basketball. I watch baseball, tennis, tune into golf sometimes, play cornhole, some other things. I really enjoy movies. I'm an AMC A-lister. What's up? I love music, all different types of music. I've done rating videos before, but I kind of want to make a more polished video of kind of everything put together called The Rough Cut. So here we are. This is episode one. I'm not sure if I'll have a consistent drop. I'll try to do probably a minimum of one a week and learn as I go. This isn't going to be a giant editing or big graphic designs with stats on the side. I mean, maybe one day, but right now it's literally just me, camera, and my voice. So let's get into it. Let's talk about what has been going on this week, and that is the conference finals for NBA, NHL. Last night, sorry, I got my iPad here, gonna look up some stats and stuff. Last night, the Spurs lost to the Thunder. The Thunder tied up the series at one apiece. The bigs for the Thunder played a lot better. I do think Dylan Harper going out early in the game probably cost them the game. Do they win that if he stays in? Who knows? J-Dub also went out for the Thunder. So, I mean, it's not like both teams were fully healthy. Again, the bigs did play a lot better. Hartenstein had a much better game. I think he was pretty physical with Wemby. Chet, statistically not a great game still. I mean, 4 rebounds. But I think on paper, not on paper, just like an eye test, he looked a bit better. I do love the point that Reggie and Jamal Crawford made on the broadcast last night about Chet just showing more emotion. And, Wemby hates Chet for some reason. Chet doesn't seem to hate Wemby as much. And that's probably healthier. But competitively, I want Chet to go back at Wemby with force and aggression and show that emotion. And when he was having a couple of those buckets late in the third, maybe it was the fourth, he didn't really show much emotion. And in that moment, that's a good moment to rile up the crowd and kind of be like, yo, I'm a dog too. And I just don't think he really shows that dog in him. I mean, he did go to Gonzaga. Mark Few maybe coached the dog out of him if he had that, because that tends to happen when you go to Gonzaga. But Wemby is a freak of nature and has a kind of psychotic mentality of winning in a good way. But Chet just doesn't seem to match that. And he's one of the few people in the league that can kind of match him just in body type and length and stuff. And he just doesn't. Wemby kind of owns him and shows that hate on the court. But the Thunder did the Thunder did tie up the series 1-1. I do think if one of the guards for San Antonio comes back, whether it's Harper or Fox, I think they win the next two games in San Antonio. Now, if they're both out for an extended period of time, it probably is a split. But I think going into game five, Spurs are up 3-1 in the series, and they probably close it out in six. Could be wrong. I just think there's going to be another game where Wemby takes over and controls the whole game. And Shea had a really good game, 30. He looked like the MVP, shooting 50% from the field. But there's going to be another game in this series, probably at home, where Wemby shows his dominance again, and you go, holy shit, this guy is different. And he already showed that once, and he's shown that multiple times throughout the season. But in these big moments, I do think he's going to have another where you go, oh, this is the guy. So we will see. Moving on to the East, we have Cavs-Knicks game 2 tonight. The Cavs choking an all-time game where they could have stole one on the road, and I think that affects them kind of in the same way Indiana doing that to New York last year affected them. I think the Knicks come out in this game. The line right now shows Knicks 5.5. I think they win by 15 plus. I think they win this series in 5. Cavs maybe get one at home, but that game that could ruin the Cavs. I think Harden is expected and probably will have a dud maybe tonight, maybe a 4 for 16 shooting type of game. I think Donovan probably goes for 30, maybe 32, but Brunson's going to get his. Cat, I think, has a better offensive game. I think they win tonight in a convincing fashion. Cavs steal one at home. Not steal, again, I keep saying the word steal as if they're stealing. Cavs get one at home, and then Knicks probably close it out in 5. I think the best series for the fans, for the NBA, for just aesthetically, Knicks Spurs is the best series we can get. The new guy, who the hell is this guy? Is this guy actually that good of a player in Wemby, going into the most famous arena in the league in New York, having that celebrity row, just having Knicks back in the finals with the logo on the floor? I mean, that's a great finals. Wemby versus the Knicks, the Spurs young roster going, wait, is this like are they already going to win one? Thunder Knicks, I mean, could be good. It's just not as entertaining, I believe. So hopefully we get a Spurs Knicks finals. That would be pretty cool. I think Knicks win in convincing fashion tonight. Now moving on to the NHL, I'm not sure how many hockey fans there are going to be. I'm a huge hockey fan, and I'm going to talk about things I enjoy. A lot of other sports shows stay away from hockey when I think it's one of the best sports, especially when it comes to the playoffs. So you may not understand everything I'm saying. Hopefully maybe I can teach a little bit, help you learn a little bit about the game. So last night we had game 1 of the Western Conference Finals, the Colorado Avalanche versus the Vegas Golden Knights. The Avs are the clear favorite. They've been the clear favorite throughout the whole season pretty much. The Knights have beaten the Mammoth and the Ducks to get into this series, who aren't really juggernauts in the West. But last night, the Knights put belt to ass, honestly, on the Avalanche. And yes, they were out there without one of their best players in Cale Makar. Vegas was also without Mark Stone, which, I mean, isn't like super comparable, but he's a key part of that team. And the Knights were up 3-0 in the third. Yes, the Avs scored 2 late goals and made it 3-2, and then the Knights closed it out 4-2 with an empty netter. But the fact the Knights fired their coach a week before the playoffs started, hired John Tortorella, Torts, who's an infamous coach kind of around the league just based on different things, and he's come in here and kind of changed the way this team runs. No other team does that except for Vegas, and it's probably the reason why they have never been bad in the history of their team in the 9 or so years they've been a franchise. This is their 5th conference championship, because no one else is firing their coach a week before the playoffs start, especially in a good coach like Bruce Cassidy. And they just do things at a different level. There's a very high standard there, and it clearly works for them. I mean, their roster is great. They don't care about picks. They just keep moving picks and getting team, and their team is very good. If they win Game 2 in Denver, that is very concerning for the Avs. I do think the Avs come out and win Game 2, probably 5-2, 6-2. I think they score quite a bit on them, but I don't know. Carter Hart is kind of playing at a different level. Again, Vegas picking up a guy that was just on the streets for anyone to grab. He was on the streets for obvious reasons, and people maybe didn't want to have him on their team, but he was out there, and he's playing very well for them. So that was Game 1. Game 2 is Friday. We'll see if the Avs can bounce back. Don't really like either of those teams. Definitely don't want Vegas to win. I guess if I'm going to cheer for the Avs, it's probably because Brent Burns at 41 winning a cup would be cool. But yeah, don't love either of those. Now moving on to the East, Game 1's tonight. The Canadiens, who just will not go away and somehow win another Game 7 that they get outplayed in, and are now in the conference finals against the Hurricanes, who have not lost a game yet in the playoffs. 2 sweeps for them, 2 Game 7s for the Canadiens. Now they collide. Hurricanes, 11 days off, I believe. We will see what rest does. I think for a veteran team like the Canes, who have been in this spot the last couple of years, they'll be all right. But I don't know. 11 days is a lot, especially for the Canadians who have just been playing a lot and are a younger team. I don't think it'll affect either. I think it'll be a good series. We'll see if the Canadians can break the Team Canada curse of no Canadian team winning a cup since '94 when the Canadians did do it. It'd be interesting that all the Canadian teams, pretty much, besides the Leafs and the Jets, who have had their own success, I mean, the Leafs have not, have all made the finals since the last time a Canadian team has won the finals. And if none of them can get the job done, and then it goes all the way back to the Canadians and they get the job done, it could be kind of interesting. I kind of have beef with the Hurricanes just as an Oilers fan, still salty about 2006. Probably wouldn't care that much, but Rob Rindamore being behind the bench when he was the captain of that team, and then having Jordan Staal be the captain now when his brother was the captain back then, very interesting. Not the captain, but just was part of the team back then. They're still very connected in such a weird way that I do not like the Hurricanes. So 3 out of the 4 teams I'm not a big fan of. And the Canadians I'm just cheering for because as someone born in Canada, I guess that would be cool. It's kind of annoying that my Canadian team has been to the back-to-back finals and lost both to the same team when 24 should have been our year. Besides the point, don't let me get on a rant about that. That is the conference finals for the NHL. So we'll see who wins game 1 tonight. Moving on to movies. So I'm a big movie fan. Like I said, I'm an AMC A-lister. What up? And the last couple movies I've seen, so I went to Top Gun Maverick in Dolby. And I've seen Top Gun Maverick multiple times. Very, very good movie. Never seen it in Dolby, and I'm telling you, those seats shaking when those jets are flying by and you feel like you're on the runway with Tom Cruise listening to 80s music, I mean, that's just a great time. So that was really good. I would recommend seeing that in Dolby. Then I saw a movie called In the Gray, a Guy Ritchie directed movie with Jake Gyllenhaal, Henry Cavill. I think it was what it intended to be, and that's an hour-and-a-half action kind of turn your brain off type movie. Not every movie can be a 5-star, highly produced Christopher Nolan type of movie, so movies like this are good. I think I gave it a 2.5. It probably could have been a 2-star. It was okay. If it hits streaming, maybe I'll rewatch it again just for that, scene where she goes to get a beer. That was a good scene. Other than that, chill movie. But again, I think movies like that are needed just to show what a 5-star movie can be, because if they were all 5 stars, it kind of takes away the thrill of a 5-star. So it was a solid movie. And big movies coming out this week, clearly Mandalorian and Grogu, which I will see, not probably opening week just because Grogu, Baby Yoda, will probably bring a lot of children into the theaters. I have nothing against children, but in a theater, not my favorite place to be around a bunch of kids. So we will see. I mean, the last couple seasons of Mando weren't amazing. Season 1 was really good. Season 2 was okay, but I didn't watch Season 3. Season 2 clearly didn't make me want to watch Season 3. Then they decided to make a movie. It will probably get hate just because it's not Empire, and it's a Star Wars movie when obviously it's not Empire. I hope it's okay. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy special, or I think it's going to be it's going to be a TV show turned into a movie. And then there's a couple horror movies. Obsession obviously is getting a lot of buzz, and then Passengers is coming out. I'm not a huge horror fan, so I usually try to stay away. Sometimes my friends will convince me to go to one and drag me to one. Not sure they're going to be able to convince me this time, but nonetheless. Yeah, not a ton. I mean, I think June, July, we're going to start picking up on movies and stuff. And then music, obviously, the last week we had 3 Drake albums drop. I've listened to all of them about 3, 4, maybe 5 times through. My list right now would be Habibi, Iceman, Maid of Honor. Habibi, besides that rusty intro, which I'm going to pretend that doesn't exist, I love it. I think it's an 8 or 9 song, just kind of R&B-ish. I love that style of Drake. Iceman, probably one of my favorite produced Drake albums so far. Some of the beats on there are crazy. I would say there's like 14 out of 18 really good songs in there, which is a very high amount. Maid of Honor, kind of Honestly Nevermind type album, not to that level, just because Honestly Nevermind is probably my favorite Drake album, maybe one of them, which is a hot take, I think, because it is getting more love now, but when it first came out, people did not appreciate it. Maid of Honor is kind of that same style, but clearly not to that level. There are some good songs on there. There are some I'm like, okay, maybe if I'm in the club, I'll like this more. But Road Trips on there is really good. Hoe Phase. And yeah, I think there's 40 plus songs he did, and 30 plus are really, really good, great. And so that's a lot of songs that are good, and not many artists can do what he did. Whether you hate on Drake, whether you like him, whether you don't, whether you listen to him or you don't, it's hard not to realize his adaptability, his longevity, his just impact on the music world. And I hope that whether you like him or not, you can appreciate that this is a generational type artist, and he's doing things that no other artist has really done. I mean, 3 albums one night, and there are that many hits on them. I mean, come on, Drizzy Drake, baby. So that's pretty much this week in all that. This is again is episode 1. It's not going to be perfect. If you liked it, subscribe, comment, let me know what you liked. Let me know what you didn't like. Let me know what I can improve on. Again, it's just me and a camera. I'm not going to do some crazy editing. It's kind of like a live stream without it being live. Maybe we'll get more stuff later on, but as of right now, that's what we're going to do. So I will see you when I see you, and have a blessed day.